Hi, and welcome to the penultimate episode of Hello CISO. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to hire top-tier people for your security team. To that end, we're going to talk about three things: the security mindset and how to spot it, diversity and how it is crucial to building a robust security team, and also the mechanics of the hiring process itself. Let's jump into it. The cybersecurity industry is very unique in terms of the people it attracts. Now, we've all seen movies of the misfit-style hackers that adorn our screens in those blockbusters. But security people do generally tend to think very differently to many other people. So let's talk about how these people think and what is it that makes them different. One of the great things about this industry is it does tend to be very much a meritocracy. Experience is certainly one important thing, and certifications and degrees can have some value. But the cybersecurity industry has always been very much about capability. What can you actually do? What can you bring to the table? What can you demonstrate? Understanding the mindset of these people is a very important part of being able to assemble a great security team. Two of the things that I believe make for a great security professional is, number one, an insatiable curiosity. How many of us just want to pull stuff apart and see how it works? And the other thing is the ability to think many steps ahead, planning what will happen next, and then the thing after that, and the thing after that. That forethought, that foresight is enormously valuable. Curiosity is an absolutely essential trait of any top-tier security professional. The curiosity of how things work, the curiosity of how to defend something, how to break something. And that curiosity helps these top-tier security professionals understand what attackers might do next. What sort of creative techniques might they use? What new and emerging technologies are there that could help us either defend or, in some cases, even go on the offense in order to protect your organization's assets? The second element, the ability to think multiple steps ahead, is particularly important, and I'll give you an example. Let's imagine something like spam. If 80% of spam conforms to a rule, a pattern, something that you can block, filtering out traffic that meets that criteria doesn't necessarily mean you're going to reduce your spam by 80%. Attackers adapt. They move on to the next thing. This becomes a little bit like a game of chess where we're each trying to outdo the other party, and the ability to think multiple moves ahead is an enormously valuable attribute for a cybersecurity professional. We see this all the time, where we build a defense and then the bad guys figure out a way around it. So we build a defense for the way around and then they find another way around it. And we keep having this game of one-upmanship where each party is trying to outdo the other party. The foresight that people have in envisaging how that game might play out over the period of time is an enormously valuable attribute. Now, it's one thing to say that the security mindset is important, but it's another to place it as a higher priority than other attributes. For example, formal education. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some industries where I would really like people to have a formal certification. I would like my doctor to be formally certified. I would like the pilot flying the plane that I'm in to be formally certified. But in this industry, people do tend to come from all sorts of different backgrounds where very often they can have enormously valuable skills without any formal paperwork. I myself do not have any formal qualifications. I dropped out of computer science at university. I never finished it. I never did any formal security certifications. Now, that said, depending on the role that someone is playing, there may be times where they need to. I just mentioned doctors and pilots. There are security roles where certain certifications are required. Very often we can't escape those. But this industry, more than any other that I can think of, is very, very much based on merit. What can the person do? What are their capabilities? What can they demonstrate? But for many organisations, the question of what can this security professional actually do is going to rate much higher than whether or not they've passed a certification. Which brings us to our second tenet in hiring top-tier security professionals, diversity. Now, I'm not just talking about diversity in terms of gender and race and background. All of those things should be the backbone of any hiring criteria, organisation-wide, not just in the InfoSec world. I'm really talking about diversity in people's own experiences and their own professional expertise. One of the great things about the cybersecurity industry is that people do come from so many different places. I have a friend who's a qualified geologist, great security professional. Very strange angle to come to InfoSec in. There's also an argument that we need more people with economics backgrounds in the InfoSec industry, people who are perhaps better able to put an ROI on the efforts that we make in terms of protecting our systems. Many of us come from software development backgrounds. That's certainly my experience. Other people come from testing backgrounds. Some people did actually start out in InfoSec from day one. Having a diverse team not only gives you a much better ability to respond to emerging threats, but also to foresee what will come in the future. That's something that comes from lots of different people with lots of different experiences, bringing their own unique personal attributes to the team. The example I think of with economists and the security mindset is hot wiring cars. It used to be a lot easier to hotwire a car, so effort was put into building defences against that. It got harder, but as a result, carjackings went up. And what we're seeing here is the law of unintended consequences, second and third order effects. These are the sorts of things that economists are very good at foreseeing. Someone with an economics background tends to look a lot more at what the incentives are and what the consequences of actions, such as preventing hot wiring, will be over time. They have a very different view to what those of us who might be more technical have. And in the case of an economist, that might be a much more holistic view. That complements the other capabilities within a team. Having the capability to build cars that are resilient to hot wiring is extremely important. But understanding what will happen as a result of that action is something that might be better to come from someone with a very different background. For now, we'll leave it at that. In the second part of this episode, we'll delve into the actual hiring process and why certifications tend to be overrated. See you then. If you've enjoyed this video as part of the Hello CISO series, then please give it a like and subscribe to the 1Password YouTube channel for more videos like this.